Hello, welcome to class. We are learning about strawberry no-bake cheesecake cups. So there are some variations that are included in the recipe. Feel free to comment, and if you need help with substitutions, things like that. This can also be made into like a cheesecake pie, but it's so delicious and it's nice to have single serve cups. And we'll get started. So what you want to start with is we're going to start with our crust. So we need 1.5 cups of your graham crackers. You can mush them up however you need to. You kind of pound them down in a bowl or squash them into a Ziploc bag. I ended up just using the blender. Nice and easy. It takes one of the sleeves of graham crackers. Mine had 9 in it, and that is completely fine to just do it that way. Or you can measure out 1.5 cups, because sometimes you can buy this stuff pre-crumbled. So go ahead and, if you need to stop the video as we go, feel free to. But 1.5 cups. Just put that in there. And if you see a big C, that stands for cup, and it'll just say 1 cup. So you can do that. If you only have a 1/2 cup, then 2 of these equals 1 of these. And then we need our butter and our sugar. So our sugar, we're going to take 3 TBS, which stands for tablespoons, and you'll see it right on there. It'll be TBS or a big T. We need 3 of these. We need 3 tablespoons of just your regular white sugar. So go ahead and do it along with me. Like I said, if you need to stop the video and review, go ahead and do that. And for your tablespoons, keep it fairly level. You can kind of scrape off the top if you want to, and then just put that in there. Then we need 5 tablespoons of melted butter. It's better to use actual real butter than margarine. Margarine has a lot of water in it, and especially Country Crock. Country Crock is only about 60% oil, and the rest is water. So it will affect how your crusts turn out. So go ahead and add that in. And thank you for joining me in the class. And then we're just going to kind of mix this in. Make sure all those graham crackers are coated and that sugar is mixed in. Just get it nice and coated. I have a couple pieces that didn't quite crumble up. Just coat it. If you need a smidge more butter, you can add just a little bit more. Mine didn't all come on out. So get every little piece of that butter in there. And you want that so you have a nice firm crust. All right, so mix that up. All right, now we are going to scoop these into our cups and press it down. So I found these at the Dollar Tree. They were $2 for 10. I ended up purchasing these so you guys can see how we're going to layer them. But you can use, I was going to use some wine glasses so I can keep them at home. But since I'm giving these away, I ended up getting these. They're just a couple cents each. And they look really nice when you do that. So now what you're going to do is take your graham cracker crust and layer that at the bottom of your cups. So go ahead and place those out, and just equal amounts in each one. If you want to save out a little bit of this for the top, kind of sprinkle it on top, you can do that as well. So just a nice scoop into each cup, and then go back and kind of even it out a little bit. This one needs a little bit more. And we don't want to put too much in here, so you may have a little bit left over. Like I said, your leftovers you can sprinkle on top if you would like, or if you would like You can also do multi-layers. We're just going to do the crust, the filling, and then the topping. And then I meant to grab something, but I'm just going to go ahead. You should have washed your hands. Make sure if you haven't, go wash your hands now. But my hands are nice and clean. And you can push this down. I was going to grab a Ziploc bag to push this down, but since we're recording, just going to go ahead and pat that down. You want it nice and firm in there. Get rid of all the air. If you are making this into a pie crust, you can bring it upwards on the side. But just kind of push it down in there. If you are making this for company, make sure you wear some gloves. But this is just for like people at home. But there you go, just kind of push it down. I got 2 more to do. How are you guys doing on yours? And the final one. Then we can go ahead and get started on the filling. This stuff is so good. You guys are really going to like it. And I'd like to know what substitutions you think would be good. You can use Oreo cookies. You can use blueberries, all different kinds of fruits, or crumbled up cookies, even peanut butter cookies or little Snicker bars. The thing with cheesecake is you can make so many different variations. And I'm going to put this aside. Put these in your fridge. Since I am recording, I'm just going to set them aside. But we want to put this in the fridge to firm up our crust. Now what we're going to do is we are going to get a large mixing bowl. And for your cream cheese, you want to have this sit out for about an hour before you make your filling. So if you need to take a break, let this sit out for an hour. Go ahead and do that. I'm just going to add these right into my bowl. I would suggest if you are making this for company, I really do think Philadelphia cream cheese makes a huge difference. Normally I buy no brand stuff. This is no brand. It's just for people at home. But if I was having a big get together or maybe for Christmas, Thanksgiving, I would buy the Philadelphia cream cheese. Either way, it turns out good. I just prefer Philadelphia. All right, so go ahead and put this in. You might need to scrape it off the top. It likes to stick because it's so softened. Just go ahead and get that in there. I like to clean up as I go, so I'm going to throw that out and grab the next block of cream cheese. And after that, we're going to need our sugar. So let's get these in there. Let me get these cups out of the way. There you go. You guys are doing a great job. And feel free to always let me know if there's certain recipes you'd like me to create for the class. Because we can make this class however you want to make it. I'll get some recipes for you, but if there's something you're craving or would like to learn, let me know and I will create the recipe and the class for you. All right, so we got our 2 blocks. Now let's get half a cup of sugar. So that's going to be the 1/2. There you go. 1/2, which means half. I'm going to need half a cup of white granulated sugar. And like I said, just make it nice and even. If it's kind of lumpy, clumpy on top, just smooth it over. Dump that in. And then let's get some vanilla. We are going to need 1 teaspoon of vanilla. And that's the 1 TSP or a small T. I got mine right here. There are 3 teaspoons in 1 tablespoon. And that's good to know if you ever run out of your measuring things. 3 teaspoons in 1 tablespoon. All right, so 1 teaspoon of vanilla. Add that in there. Close it up so you don't knock it over. Let me grab the lemon juice. I knew I forgot one thing. We're going to want fresh out lemon juice. I consider this fresh because I just opened it. These are nice to have. I got these at the Dollar Tree actually, so I'll keep a couple stored in my pantry, and when I'm ready to use it, it's nice and fresh. So 1 tablespoon. So we're back to the large measuring spoon. There we go. 1 cup heavy cream. So it'll either say heavy cream or heavy whipping cream. And this gives a nice richness to it. 1 full cup. So take your time as you're pouring. Don't want to over pour. A lot of people can even use this in their coffee. So we have 1 cup heavy cream. And now the final thing. Look at your recipe card. Do you see the final thing that we need? You are correct. 1/4 cup of sour cream. Oh, jeez. 1/4 cup sour cream. That's the 1/4. I'm making a mess. 1/4. There you go, and you can smooth that out. Use your little spatula. I have a little air bubble, so mine is good enough. And just get that on in there. Set this aside. Now what we're going to do is take our mixer. You can use the large ones or you can use a handheld one. And we are going to kind of whip this all together. So here we go. And just don't rush it. Go ahead and do it on slow speed. Try to get that in there. Let's give it time to mix up. And now that it's a little bit mixed, you can speed it up if you would like. I'm going to do this for 1.5 to 2 minutes. You just move your beaters around. And this is so much easier if you softened your cream cheese. Definitely want to get all the clumps out, so mix it in. We'll do about 30 more seconds, and then we will move on to the topping. Mine's looking good. How about yours? There you go. I was going to wait till tomorrow to make this video, but I'm craving this, so I'm having some of this before I go to bed. All right. So if you need to do yours a little bit longer, you can pause the video. All right, so we have this ready. And why don't we go ahead and put this into our cups, and then we will make our topping. So you should have your 6 cups, or if you're doing it out of muffin tins, you can kind of see it. It might be able to make 12 muffin tins. So I have my 6, and let's get the, where did I put the spoon? Let's get our filling in there. And definitely make sure you leave a little bit of room for the topping. So just do it scoops, and then we can go up and fill in any ones that need a little extra topping. So we are just scooping this in there. And in the classroom, I'd like you to tell me, have you ever made dessert before, or will this be the first dessert you have ever made? So now I'm going back with the extra, filling in the ones that could use a little bit more, trying to make these as even as possible. Gotta be fair, everybody's gonna love this, and they're gonna want the full amount. Almost filled. All right, just scrape the bowl, get all of that out into your cups, and kind of tap your cups down just a little bit. This one I'm going to see how much more I can get. I want this one to have a little bit more. All right, so now that your cups are filled, go ahead and put these in the refrigerator. That way the filling can firm up. I'm just going to set it aside since I'm recording. But I would suggest putting those in the refrigerator right now. And go ahead and stop the video, come back, and we'll get started with the strawberry filling. All right, so you may pause and come back. Now for the strawberries, if you are doing a different topping, you can skip this and maybe put some cookie crumbles or some fresh fruit. If you are doing, mangoes or something like that, we can still use this recipe, but with different fruit. So you're going to want 2 cups of fruit. I am going to use strawberries, and this kind of has like a nice like syrup texture. Caramel, it's just good. You'll see what it looks like. So cut your fruit into small bite-sized pieces, and don't make them too large. And just take your time. If you are doing cherries, make sure you take the cherries out. Same with peaches. And I'd like to know, what are your favorite fruits? You can even mix and match some different fruits together. What fruits do you guys like? I know a lot of people like bananas and strawberries together, or pineapple would be good in this. Each fruit will have a different taste, so you could have this pretty much all the time and it would taste different every time. So we're going to want 2 cups of cut fruit. Just almost done. Take the tops off, you don't want those. Also, depending on the time of year is going to be kind of which fruits are available. Right now it's summer where I am, so I am blessed to have really good strawberries right now. Let me back this up so I'll lower it so you can see it a little better. There we go. We're just cutting up our fruit. And when you hold things, kind of bear claw it. So bear claw to keep your fingers away from the knife when you're cutting. Kind of control your knife with your index finger. Definitely want to be safe. If you need a grown-up to help you, please ask a grown-up. So here, see how you kind of tuck your fingers around it and inwards so you don't have the fleshy part of your fingers exposed. All right, so there we go. I'll do 3 more strawberries, and then we'll get started on the filling. And definitely take your time cutting your fruit. You don't need to rush it. We don't want any accidents in the kitchen. All right, this is a nice juicy one. Don't worry about speed. And it doesn't have to be perfectly cut. We just want to make it in small bite-sized pieces. And that also helps us able to distribute it into the various cups. All right, I want to do one more. One more strawberry. Why not, right? This also, you could use this topping. If you just make the topping, you can use this on pancakes or waffles. All right, so we have our strawberries. Now we are going to take our pan, put it on the stove over a medium heat. So for me, this is a camping stove, so it's going to be at a 3. You may need yours at like a 5 or medium MED. We're going to put our fruit into the skillet. Please do that now. And then we will need 1/4 cup of sugar. Oh, it's starting to smell so good. 1/4 cup. Not too much. Oops, there we go. One tablespoon lemon juice. Just putting that right into our skillet or our pan. And the tablespoon is the large one, 1 TBS or 1 TSP. Fill it to the top. And dump it in there. Then you're going to need 1 tablespoon of water. And so I could record, I've already measured this out. 1 tablespoon of water. We'll put that in there. And then now we are going to cook this down. We are going to kind of warm it up, soften the fruit for ourselves. And you're going to start, we need cornstarch. 1 tablespoon cornstarch. I knew we needed something else. 1 tablespoon of cornstarch. The cornstarch really does make a difference. This is one of the recipes I suggest making sure you add the cornstarch. It gives it a nice thickness to the syrup. And make sure you stir that up nice and good. And try not to make a mess. But if you do, just clean up as you go. Make sure your tops are all closed up. Just stir this in. Here you can see that syrup is starting to come together. It's looking good. So one thing that's important to know is sometimes these handles can get really hot. So just be cautious on that. If you need to use a hot pad, some people call them oven mitts to hold on, but it is good to hold on to your pan so it doesn't get out of control and fly off the burner. This stuff will end up being hot and sticky, so you definitely don't want it to fall onto your body. But here you see it cooking down. Starting to look good. The sugar is starting to melt, which is one other thing that we want to happen. We'll just kind of soften that for a few minutes. And like I said, there's so many different things you can do with cheesecake. You can do like caramel drizzles. And also too, how I said that if you would like, you could do half of this much and then half of the filling, another half of graham cracker crust, another half a filling to make it extra fancy, and even put some of the fruit in between. But this is just an easy way. It's super delicious, a great learning tool. That's one of the best things about cooking is as you start learning what you like, you can pick and choose from different recipes to create new variations. So let's say I like this, but I love chocolate chips. I could sprinkle some chocolate chips on it or add some whipped cream with some sprinkles, garnish it with different things, maybe put a little cookie on the side. And, you know, with, let's say Halloween, you could decorate, maybe put some of those candy corns or, you know, do different food colorings. You could make this, you know, for Christmas, you could do half of your filling green and the other half red, and get creative with it. So now that this is cooking down, I think we want to give it a little bit more time to thicken that sauce. Just let it simmer down. So once that is done, you are going to cool your fruit mixture. This is what mine's looking like right now. It's hard to show you all the liquid that's still in there. But once you let this cool down, it is going to thicken. And these will be taken out of the fridge in about an hour. That gives this enough time to cool. Put it on top and your cheesecake cup is complete. So I should let this cool down, but I'm going to show you just how beautiful this looks. You just put it on top. And you made a cherry cheesecake cup. These can also be called parfaits, and I look forward to seeing you in the next class.